Very worried. Look, I was worried 5 months ago. Now I'm terrified. Okay? 5 months ago, I was concerned about the election. Now I'm concerned about every single one of our rights. Okay? You know, I've got a plan for election integrity. I've got a plan for constitutional theory. I've got a plan for critical race theory. But I see bigger stuff coming down the pike. Okay? We need true federalism. Okay? The way things are going at the federal government, the Republicans, the Democrats, the Uniparty are joining together to strip our rights away. Through COVID, through fear, through terror, all of it. The media used to manipulate us into thinking that our rights are killing us and making us sick. The next thing to come is us. And they're already trying. If you don't believe me, we've been seeing a lot of articles I've been seeing a lot of articles on Facebook about medicine shortages in hospitals and ICUs. You know why there's shortages in ICUs and hospitals? Because Joe Biden and the federal government, including Republicans, cut off medical supplies to hospitals and are now rationing the care. But the stuff that they're rationing, we have plenty of. Donald Trump in the spring ordered 500 million doses of Regeneron. There's not 500 million people in this country, and we ain't been in this thing for 2 years yet. You can't tell me those 500 million doses are gone. But it's being rationed. And people are dying every single day needlessly. Well, how long are we going to put up with it? They're killing us. Your family, my family. And we sit here, and we come to meetings, and we talk about it. Well, at some point or another, the talking has got to end. I'm tired of talking about it. Here's what we do. Here's how we fix this. It starts local. Mr. McGregor was talking about this. I went to a school board meeting last week to talk about, vaccines, talk about masks, the effects on the kids, how, teenage boys and young men are 6 times more likely to have adverse side effects from the shot than COVID. Your heart swelling and busting and dying. Now, my family's got heart problems. When I die, 80% chance I'm going to die of a heart attack. But I'd rather not my heart explode from the shot. Okay? So, it shouldn't be mandated. If you want to get it, that's great. Okay? If your doctor and you come to that decision that you should take this vaccine, wonderful. Me and my doctor didn't come to that conclusion. And I'll be danged if somebody threatens my life. So, here's how we fix it. We go to the meeting. I went to the school board meeting in Hart County last week. Guys, I own 3 properties in Hart County. I pay a lot of property tax that I should not have to pay on property that I own as a free American. And they told me that I could not get up there and speak.
Yes.
Number one, as a certified teacher. I'm a certified teacher with the state of Georgia. Number 2, as a citizen, tax-paying citizen. They told me I could not speak. But here's the problem, guys. There was 4 of us at that school board meeting. There was only 4 of us. Next school board meeting, there needs to be 150.
300.
If we could get 150 people, and not just us that sit here, but actual parents and their children that go to Hart County schools. If we can bring the group that this affects and organize a meeting and go to the meeting, I guarantee we can get some answers and at least have a discussion with it instead of being ignored by Jabez Floyd. There you go. The election. I've got a plan for election integrity.
Shall I be?
Well, Not even that. That won't work. You know how many fake IDs I can order from China right now with Georgia addresses? You know how my little brother drank in college before he was 21? He went to a Chinese website called idgod.com. He typed in the name he wanted, or his name. He typed in a fake address with a real zip code, with a real picture. And this ID scans at gas stations. It scans at liquor stores. Out of the, how many times he used it, it failed him one time. And you can't tell me that our elections are going to be secure now that we require ID, because I can buy an ID.
Or 10.
Or 10,000. What we need, and election integrity is a concern for Democrats and Republicans. You know, 10 years ago we were using the ES&S machines. Republicans and Democrats both had a fit. Well, we're using Dominion now, and Republicans are having a fit. And I understand why. I mean, it's not a safe system. The reason that Texas, the Attorney General of Texas, did not certify Dominion was because they could not, the way they set up the Dominion machine, it did not keep records of the votes that had been adjudicated. So according to Dominion, you go in and change any vote you want, but you won't have a history of it. How is that fair? So, here's what we do. Okay? We go to our election board. I went to the election board meeting in Hartville, I think it was last month. Me and 2 other people. Explained my point of view, explained what I thought, and asked them about the process of paper ballots in Hart County. I received a firm no, and that would be too hard and difficult. So, we ain't giving up yet. So, I reached out to my county commissioner, who is Joey Dorsey, and I also reached out to Ricky Carter, who is not my county commissioner, but is a great county commissioner, and started putting the bug in their ear about what we have to do to get some funding for this election board so that we can have paper ballots and trust our vote.
Yeah.
The problem at the election board, same thing. There was 2 of us there. We need 200. We need 2,000. Okay? We have got, I think that we have forgotten that we live in a free country, that we vote for our leaders. We've been manipulated by the media, by Facebook and by social media, into thinking that all of the decisions are made at the federal and the state level. Absolutely not. Okay? We have so much power here locally. If we use it. If 159 other counties all over the state of Georgia got together and instituted their own voting system with paper ballots, this election will be solved. We don't have to do it at the state level. We can do it.
There you go.
We just have to have the gumption. We just have to have the will. The problem is that I'm guilty of this myself. We have to work 60 hours a week. We have to work 70, 80 hours a week to pay our bills, take care of our kids, raise a family, take care of the house, mow the grass. It doesn't leave a whole lot of time to organize. But we cannot do it alone. You need to be forming groups with your friends, okay, with your friends' friends, with people who think like you. Get a group text going. Get 8, 10 people in there. Everybody in this room got a group of 8 to 10 people and started organizing. And then those 8 to 10 people started organizing. By God, what we could do. It'd be amazing. It really would if the people got together. And that's what it's all about, guys. We the people.
Amen.
And it's been about we the people since 1787. Now I know that date's off, but that is when our Constitution was ratified.
Yes,
Okay. I got some looks.
I think you scared a few men.
But, okay, We have got to come together. The most important thing in this country is we the people. Now, I know we the people are being left behind. We the people are being threatened. We the people are being lied to. We the people are being threatened that if we don't take this shot, if we don't do what the government says, if we don't do what government daddy says, we'll lose our job. We won't be able to feed our kids. You won't be able to take care of your family. Your family won't receive health care.
Or they'll hold your social security check.
Or they'll hold your social security check.
Wow, what about that? Your money,
Yeah.
they're gonna hold your money back from you.
So,
It's not their money.
the other thing I've got to tell you is it's not going to get better. It's going to get 10 times worse, especially if we really want to fight. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but my plan for federalism is to become completely unreliant on federal money. If the state of Georgia is to protect the rights of its citizens, of Georgians, then we cannot rely on federal money. And federal money funds half of the state budget. We're bought and paid for, guys. We have been for years. And it's not our politicians' fault. Every state is. Has been for decades. After the Civil War, you know why? Well, the federal government figured the states could secede. The states had that much autonomy. They had to figure out a way to keep them in the government. Well, what better way to keep somebody in the government than to bribe them? Guys, we've got to become unbought. And it's going to be a struggle. The other thing is food supplies. Now, a lot of y'all aren't thinking about this yet. Okay, but one of the things that I'm concerned about is feeding this community. We have a lot of farmers, okay, and if we go to the grocery store, shelves are looking empty. Shelves are looking bare, a lot of canned goods are out. Canned goods? I thought canned goods last forever. They're out. They're out of stock. I went to Deals the other day, there was no milk, there was no orange juice, there was one crate of eggs left. What's going to happen this winter or next winter? So, my idea for that is we've got to become totally unreliant on the FDA. We have got to figure out a way at the state level to protect Georgia farmers and Georgia citizens and allow them to feed each other and to feed us. Because federal government shut down large meat packing plants. What aren't shut down? The vaccine mandate took some of the employees. And this is in chicken, pork, beef, every commodity. I mean, corn's what, tripled in the last 2 years? Last time I checked it, yes ma'am.
One of the ways that we can do this is, again, with your local communities, get with your farmers, have your meetings, set up a bartering system, good old
Absolutely.
bartering system with your farmers.
But the problem
And your own
is,
personal crops as well.
is like, I've got pigs right now because I'm worried, so I've got my own pigs. If I wanted to sell those pigs, I would have to take them to an FDA licensed butcher, which, in case y'all haven't noticed, there's none around here at the moment, or they're waiting list of 2 months.
Isn't Bonds? I thought Bonds was.
I thought Bonds was closing to only people we knew.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
I scheduled it
I
Oak
just-
Valley.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's
there's-
another one up in, up here. Oh, shoot.
Right, and especially with deer season coming up, most of the processors are busy with deer and won't do livestock.
That's right, I'll need to get my license.
So, same goes for canning. If you can goods, you gotta have a license. So we've got to figure out a way to feed our community and take care of each other, because federal government's not taking care of us anymore. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Because right now, we are seeing the effects of what happens if you rely on the feds. If you want this, you have to do this. Well, what if I don't want to do that? Too bad you have to. No, that's not the game I play. Okay, so Federalism is the answer to vaccine mandates, okay? If the state of Georgia can protect Georgia's citizens, we don't have to listen or care what Joe Biden says. Now, Civil War, Civil War, Civil War. Well, possibly, but reality, I think it's going to be really hard when 17 other states are doing the same thing all across the union. Because the fact of the matter is that Republicans control over half the states in the union. And if all the freedom-loving Americans got together and said no to this, the federal government would do nothing but whimper. But guys, let me tell you, if we don't stand up, we will be Paris, we will be Australia. How many of you have seen videos on Facebook of Australians in concentration camps can't pull their mask down, waiting to be fed by the government?
Stealing people out of houses.
Stealing people out of houses.
Taking their children away.
If you're out on the street without a mask, they put a guy in a chokehold and killed him. All for not wearing a mask outside under the God's blue sky. So, we've got to organize. We've got to come together. I heard the Democrats say it for years, resist. Well, it's time, and we're going to show the Democrats what resisting looks like. Yes, ma'am.
Can I just make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
So last year they had a couple Trump rallies on the lake.
Yes, ma'am.
My family and I went to both of them. And there was, I know the television and the media would not have told everybody, but there was thousands of votes. Now, I'm talking about people coming from all over to join this. Now we're seeing uprisings and protests even in New York, other places of the country, the UK, Britain, all over Europe. So maybe we need to arrange something on foot in Hart County to try to bring them in by the masses. Of course, peaceful. I would never want anything. I don't want somebody showing up, even if they had a license to carry. I wouldn't want that. I would want to see their guns. But
Well,
I don't think that I think there's a lot of people in Hart County who feel exactly the way we all do.
you don't know a place to start?
We have nowhere to start, and so I feel like if we could arrange something.
Hart Healthcare System today, they're vaccinating 12 employees forcibly. I got a message last night.
Which employees? I work for the school system.
No,
I drive-
Hart Healthcare.
Oh,
the,
Hart,
Hart
okay,
Health.
good. Now, has anybody heard if they're going to be mandating and making it mandatory that school employees have to get it? Because if they do, they're gonna lose an 8-year bus driver, so, has anybody heard if that's going to be mandated?
That was going to be my question to the board, but they didn't let me speak.
Right, well, and they wouldn't have let me speak either had I showed up, because I've kind of been there, done that, but I just feel like if we can arrange something other than a Saturday morning once every 3 weeks, someone like you, I mean, it would benefit you tremendously to get out there and speak on the square, where we used to have a monument standing, I'm understanding, and disappeared the night. Anybody heard about that? Yes, there was a monument on the square, it was a World War II, I do not remember, that it disappeared. Has nobody heard about this?
No.
I'll find out my source, but it definitely disappeared in the middle of the night, so, and this was recently. Sorry? It could have been,
No, it was, yeah.
It's the Confederate.
it could have been a soldier,
It's the Confederate.
and did it disappear?
They said a storm.
Right,
knocked
a
it
tree
down.
knocked it down, right, yeah, well, we know that probably did not
But it's
happen.
been years ago, and I can't remember how
Okay.
long.
Well, I'm with you, I think we need to start being visible
Have
and
to be.
gaining people
We have
into
to
our
be.
marches
Yeah.
and whatever.
More
we
so
can
than
do.
this.
We need
This
you to
is good.
speak, we
Well,
need people like
look.
you guys to stand up and inform the masses, because I'll tell you, when I go around and talk to people, they don't know.
They don't know this stuff, a lot
Well,
of them
look,
don't.
then we need, get with your friends. Go sit outside of Ingles grocery store for 2 hours in the morning. Go sit outside of Walmart for 2 hours in the morning. Pass out flyers. The Democrats do it. Look, I drove to Atlanta yesterday. I was behind a Black Voters Matter bus. Y'all, look, it's not even a year till the primaries and the Democrats are out driving around the Black Voters Matter bus, recruiting voters and organizing.
Where are we?
What are we doing? Oh my God, it kills me sometimes.
Right.
The Democrats are so good at organizing.
We're working and supporting the country.
Yes, sir.
Most people are not.
That's right.
That's not an excuse anymore, we've got to get together. We've got to be our problem.
Mr. Fogarty. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Bill Fogarty, but this is a little commercial, a little piggyback on what you've been talking about. First of all, I'm proud of you for going to the school board meetings. I've been to school board meetings for the last couple of years. If y'all don't know it, you gotta get permission slip to talk.
Yes, you do.
And that you have to do the Thursday before the board meeting. You give it to the superintendent and say, I wanna come talk to you for
You
3
gotta let
minutes.
them know what you're talking about.
3 minutes only, and 3 minutes, I've had people throw me out, not very politely either. So, what I wanna mention is, we talk about local other organizations. Monday night, property owners, lower level library, we're talking about property rights, we're talking about annexation, we're talking about development, we're talking about, okay, the school system as well, as far as the taxes, and eliminating those and what we can do. We need more and more people. Dylan, you're right, the more people we can get at a school board meeting, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people, now, they don't care if I come, because they know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, so, Mike Buffalo, when he comes, same thing, 3. But, if we get a whole bunch of new people out, we get 20 slips to the superintendent, he might start listening, or some of the other people. There's 2 board spots open next November, we gotta replace them.
There you go.
Absolutely.
What, do we know which ones are open?
Yeah,
What-
Henry Clary is open, and Sullivan, so it's 2 in districts 2 and 4, same with the commissioner.
That's how you take over, right there.
If anybody's interested in running, come see me. I'll help you through the process.
Well, you know what? Matter of fact, you can come talk to me as well. I'll be more than happy.
And look, I wanna see moms and dads running for school board. Okay, I wanna see people who it actually matters to. Okay? Moms and dads know best more than anybody what the school board needs. No, with education, sorry I'm running over real quick, but what I wanna do is critical race theory has kind of been put on the back burner by, vaccine mandates and everything like that, but it's still an issue. Okay? When I was in school, or when I was teaching school, I taught 7th grade social studies in Franklin County. I was able to educate kids, but it wasn't because I followed the standards. It wasn't because I did what my principal told me to do, or it wasn't because what I did what the other teachers did. It's because I did my own thing in my own classroom, and I gave the kids the truth. When I was going through the Georgia Performance Standards, I can't count on both hands how many times I told the kids this is not correct. But know it for the test, but I'll explain it why it's not correct. They're giving these kids half truths and half understanding. Math. Walk in, my real good friend was a math teacher. Walk in her classroom, they're trying to do fractions. And they're started up here at the top of the board, but somehow the process has worked all the way down to the bottom like a Christmas tree. Look, guys, I worked construction. I did fractions all the time. I never made a Christmas tree for fractions. And then like the second week, I could do it up here. But Common Core is not the answer. Common Core is dumbing our kids down. And you know how we fight back? You know how we fix that? With our wallets. We have got to fight back with our wallets. And how do we fight back with our wallets? We pass school vouchers. If parents can choose where their kids go to school, if parents can educate their own children in their own homes and afford to, if parents can afford to send their child to private school with the tax money that they fund, that'd be amazing. We could defund these bad ideas. If your child's receiving a bad education, well, your only choice isn't Barnes Academy or Athens Christian anymore. You could go anywhere. I've heard several conversations in local people about starting up a group school. That would be a great option. Okay, but we have got to fight back. with our wallets, with our votes. Go to these meetings and speak your mind. Go to Walmart, stand out in front and pass out flyers. Go to Eagles and pass out flyers. They blocked us on social media. We gotta find some way to reach them. Every Democrat or every person I've tried to talk to who was pro-vaccine mandate, blocked. They blocked me. I can't talk to them. They didn't want to talk to me. I tried to be nice. So we've got to go meet them where they're at. We can't only talk to the people we work with. We can't only talk to the people that we hang out at church with or go eat dinner with. We've got to strike up a conversation with a random guy at a bank and tell him why. We've got to go to the grocery stores and go where these people are and explain to them why freedom is worth it. That freedom isn't free and that there are risks with freedom, but the risks far outweigh whatever the government could ever do to us. Any other questions, guys? Yes, sir.
I got a question, a few statements.
Yes, sir.
At least where you can see me, I don't know if you can hear me. Turn around, Rick. You don't see my good side.
He wants to see you pretty side.
Let me stand up here. Got one question. Where does the money that the federal government sends back to the states come from?
Us, me,
There you go. There you go. Solved right there. We send money to DC and then we beg for it back. Same way with the state of Georgia, and I don't mean no insult, but put the pile on nobody else. But we, all of us send money to the state and then we ask for it back. Yep.
we beg.
Sometimes we do get it through grants and other things like that. We got one US government in 50 states. In the state of Georgia, we got one state and 159 counties, right up 550 or so cities. So who's the most powerful? We are. Grassroots. Yes, sir. You mentioned the statute, I can tell you all about the statute. I felt the same way that everybody else did. If somebody told this thing, and it's still a possibility that they may act. But there was a tree up there with a limb, and it was a real stormy night, so it was limbs everywhere all over the courthouse track. And that limb could have knocked that marble statue up. The BOC, Board of Commissioners, shortly after that, voted and said, you are allowed to put that statue back up. We don't have no qualm about it. So they have the ability to put it up, they got the BOC commission whether they need or whether they don't. The people, if you wanna find out about it, you need to talk to the Daughters of the Confederacy. They started a, raising money. I've been told, don't know for sure, I've been told that the money's there, but they don't wanna put it back up because of all the consequences. There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Yes, sir.
When I moved into this area, one of the first things I do is I look around to see where money's being spent.
Yes, sir.
Infrastructure, roads, I wanna see how things are being maintained, but the first thing that caught my eye was the public housing.
Yes, sir.
And when I saw public housing, I knew there was federal money coming in. And when I knew there was federal money coming in, I knew that AFRA, which is the Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing Act, was probably gonna be implemented in this county as well, because we take federal money.
Yes, sir.
So what is the move on that for this area as far as zoning laws? Because if you're gonna take that money, back when Obama came up with that push, and now Biden's pushing it again, Trump put it aside, he tabled it.
Right.
Which is to get rid of local zoning laws. Now, the biggest change besides public schools that you're gonna make in a place is gonna be the zoning. It's pretty mundane stuff, nobody really cares about zoning until they build a Section 8 housing or an apartment complex right on Livonia Highway. So I moved into here and I'm going, wait a second, am I gonna deal with the same thing I dealt with as a 32-year resident of California?
Yes, sir. So Hart County has grown exponentially in the last 10 years. Okay, I moved here when I was 7, with my mom's from here. When I moved back, I remember looking at the statistics. There was like 19,000 people living in Hart County. This was 10 years ago. Now there's over 30,000. It's a substantial. It's north of 28, I think. Now, Hart County does not have zoning laws. Am I correct, Mr. Carter? Now, if we want some zoning laws, we need to go see the county on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, right?
Second and fourth Tuesday.
Second and fourth Tuesday, they're having a city council meeting, and we're also having a lot of issues in the county with developments and subdivisions and things like that, so this might be a good opportunity to bring all of that up. Because I can certainly